Hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk about 5 things that you're going to want to have if you're starting a studio. So these are going to be more grip type things. In my last video like this I talked about some kind of little accessories that I think you should have around, but these are going to be more kind of bread and butter stuff that you're going to use every day. It's going to just be part of your studio. So first, sandbags, right? Weight. So this is a 25-pound sandbag by Matthews. It's orange. They make them in black as well. So sandbags come in a lot of different weights, a lot of different sizes. What size should you get? Well, it really depends on what you're doing. So the most common are around 20, 25 pounds like these. So I usually keep a bunch of those around. But you want to have some smaller ones, 5 pounds or something if you want to hang like a boom or something. They also make some of them that are filled with lead shot that are heavier but smaller. So when you need a lot of weight but you don't have a lot of space for them. So the only ones I don't really use personally are the really heavy ones like 35 and 45 pounds. I usually just throw on 2 when I need that, but those are really useful if you're going to do like cranes and stuff, if you're more of like a filmmaker. But as a photographer, I think 25 is probably what you want to be, 20, 25. 15s, those are also good, and then maybe pick up a few 5s. They're definitely going to be worthwhile to keep around, and you want to throw them on every single stand. You can never be too safe, right? Sandbag. So the other thing, which the sandbag was sitting on, that I'll go right into, is an apple box. Look at my apple box. My apple box is beat to, sorry mom, shit. Apple boxes get used all the time. People sit on them, they stand on them, you put equipment on them, you drill stuff into them. It's a piece of wood, you're going to use it. And I only stress this point because I can't tell you the number of people who have these pristine apple boxes. I don't even understand how they do it. The first thing I do when I get an apple box is step on it. So apple box, really great. You can use them as props. Obviously, people can stand on them. People can sit on them. And like I said, you drill things into them. This is a full. They do come in various sizes. So apple boxes themselves, this dimension here is going to be consistent. And then the thickness determines full, half, quarter, or eighth / pancake. So apple boxes are good to have around. If you're just starting, you probably can just deal with having full ones. You don't have to have all the different sizes, but they can be really useful. So if you want to splurge on some of the smaller ones, I think halves are also super useful. And they do make what's called mini, which are half this way. So again, apple boxes, super great to have around. Look for studios that are closing or moving or production companies and get beat up ones because you don't need brand new ones. But if you want a brand new one, you know, whatever. More on you for that. So obviously, speaking of that, I'll put links and stuff in here so you guys don't have to go crazy searching the web for this stuff. The other thing that I use all the time is the C-stand. So I have smaller stands, of course, that I use when I'm on location, and I use bigger stands for like really big lights, but my C-stand are kind of my go-to stands. You know, you can put a light directly on it here. You can put a light on the arm here using a 650 pin, which I discussed in the other video. But also they come in different heights. This is your standard 40-inch. It's got the small base, but it holds a lot of weight, so you can put them close together. They do come in a shorter size and also a slightly larger, which I don't see them being used that often. Also, this particular one's what they call turtle base. You can remove the shaft altogether and just put something really low to the ground. So C-stands are kind of become my studio stands for most things. I use them to hold reflectors. I use them to hold lights. I use them to hold just about anything you could think of. So have a few of these around. Get them with the, you're going to immediately think, well, I can save some money and not get the arm and knuckle, but get the kit with the arm and knuckle. This is the arm, this is the knuckle. You definitely want to do that because in the end you're going to want those. In fact, you'll probably end up wanting more arms and knuckles than you have stands. So don't skimp and just get the stands to start with. Spend a little bit extra, get the full kit. It's going to be worthwhile for sure. So C-stands, they do come in black and silver. I usually just get the silver ones because the black ones tend to be more expensive. But if you are running into something where light's reflecting off of it or whatever a lot, sometimes product photographers like black ones. Whatever, I have a couple black ones too, but mostly I have silver because they're less expensive. Another kind of maybe obvious thing is extension cords. You can never have enough extension cords. So I tend to get this length, which is 20 feet. So I'd rather have a bunch of 20s and put them together than have a 100-footer, although we do have 100-footer in the safe that we never use. Because, yeah, I mean, you don't want to deal with that. You just kind of loop them together or tape them, whatever, if you're outside. And what you want to do is definitely stay organized with them. So this is a cable cuff. I'll find a link for one of these and put it up there for you, but these, man, these are like amazing. I can't tell you that I used to wrap them, used to do all kinds of funny things. This right here is super useful. And not only can you keep your cord like that, normally once I put it on the stand, I'll put a little loop in it and put the cuff on there so it stays secure. I don't have to worry about it. So another cool thing that you're gonna wanna have as a studio photographer, even if you're doing all portraits and stuff, I know product photographers live for these things, but even for portraits and stuff, are flags. So a flag or a cutter is basically designed to block light. So you've seen reflectors which you could use this for negative fill, putting it like a reflector to add contrast. But really, they're mostly for blocking light. They are completely light proof. They are also, I don't want to say they're fireproof because you can burn a hole in them, but they don't catch on fire because they're made out of duvetine. So they're safe for hot lights for the most part, although be careful still. But you're going to want to use these for anything, blocking light, from areas to keep control over it. Yes, you can use black foam cord, which I mentioned in the other video. Buy tons of black foam cord, super cheap. These are more expensive. But you'll notice this has the proper pin on it, so you can put it into a C-stand and maneuver it exactly where you want it. So you're going to want to keep a few of these around. This is the medium-sized ones. You can get them smaller. They also make fingers, what they call. They're skinnier, so depending on the kind of work you do. I usually think this is a pretty good size, but I think these are 2 by 3. You can get 18 by 24, I think is a size down, which are pretty useful as well. So cutters/flags are another really, really important thing that you definitely want to keep around. So kind of as a final thing, although I think this might be number 6, but I just happen to have it sitting here and I'll mention it, is yes, you can stand on that box. You will never run out of uses for some kind of a small ladder. So this one we leave here all the time, so it doesn't really fold down that small, but you can get small folding ladders. And photographers were never the right height. We're either too tall for something, or we're on the ground, or we're too low and we can't reach it. But a ladder is going to be really useful. You can stand on it, you can clamp things to it, you can put 2 ladders together and make yourself a bridge to put things on. Really useful. Keep a ladder around. And you'll notice that as you build up your studio, you end up buying a lot of stuff from the hardware store, from Amazon or whatever, and it's not all photo equipment, right? Because things like this are super, super useful. So let me know what else you guys want to know about. I'm going to continue this series talking about different things. We can get more in depth on anything. If you want something very specific about any one of these things I've talked about or something else, let me know in the comments. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.